Welcome back, Unity Trader and Dark Fleet fans, to round 2 action of the 4-Power 2-Balance tournament. My name is Left Bauer, and I will be casting Game 1 of this best of 3 between Team Fleet Command and Dad FPS and the Dial-Up Kid. The game today is played on the map of Transtav. So let's go through the teams while we are loading in. On Dad FPS and the Dial-Up Kid, if I refer to them again, will be DDK, is Koi on Advent Reborn, and Lady Haha 89 on Visari Alliance, also known as Davey, using his alter ego in this game, so we'll see if he plays any different with his alter ego. And then on Team Fleet Command, we have DannyVi.com, also on Visari Alliance in the orange, and Monmon in the Advent Wrath in blue. As a reminder, this is the map of Transtav. Transtav seems to be a favorite of the teams in this tournament. It gives a level of skill expression that I think some of the players really seem to enjoy. For the teams that are able to quickly colonize out of their, I'm going to call them their pocket worlds, to quickly colonize out of their pocket worlds and into the center and get these two rich planets, actually it's going to be 3 rich planets in the center. It gives them a nice stranglehold and a nice resource income into the center of the map. And then the other reason seem to like it is that there are 2 asteroids right towards the end of what your pockets are, which would be this section here, these ones here, and then I'm going to skip this Ferris, but these 6 up here. Because as we look at the map, those 6 don't really move, but the 2 middle ones do. So we have an ice planet and a volcanic planet that will rotate around the outside of the map, and eventually at about the hour 45, 2-hour mark, will make it into where they're in the center of your opponent's planets. And if there's some sort of a stalemate that occurs here in the middle, or actually those all turn around in the middle themselves, so they kind of all go, every other planet goes clockwise or counterclockwise, so it just kind of makes this a little bit more jumbled, plus you got pirates in the middle. So why teams seem to favor this is it gives you some safety to get these first 6 planets. You really know what you're getting into when you start moving out on your planets. However, that said, you do need multiple levels of research to get them. As Advent, you will need Arctic and Volcanic and Primordial. As Visari, you have access to all 3 of them in your Tier 1 Empire research, but getting these 3 is a little bit expensive, uses up some other research time that you could be used or doing other things on the map with. So we'll see how these teams decide to play this map. We've seen a number of teams play it, like I said, thus far, and because it seems to be I'm going to call it a non-controversial or non-beneficial map to any race in particular, most teams seem to really like the way that this map shapes out. So as we get into the map, we'll look at the openings here. We'll look at Danny first. Danny has gone with the double Evacuator as his capital ships. So Evacuator has the ability to, we'll see what he's building with him first. So the first one, obviously you start with Colonize, and he's already up to level 3 and hasn't really touched either of the 2 Gravity Warhead or Subspace Rupture. And then the second one, because actually we'll do minor factions in a second, but he does have Colony Seed Nanites on the second one with Subspace Rupture, so hopefully he's going to be a little bit more free to use Subspace Rupture, clearing these neutral factions out. So on this map, the minor factions that we have this game will be the Pirate faction with Boarding Crew, Smuggler's Den, Pirate Wager, and Pirate Raid. We also have the Pranast United, which gives you the Emergency Gauss Platform, Unassailable Fortress, Armored Citadel, and Protection Fleet. And then we also have the other one, as I said, the Jiskun Expeditionary Force, which has a very good colony seed nanites, which will allow you, as any faction, to drop this on a capital ship, get a free mining level and free logistics level, instead of using a capital ship ability instead. So we can see Danny's going to bid 3 points here on this metal monopoly of the planet. And I did do some research on this one, so I wanted to highlight this. Davey has also gone for exactly 3 influence points spent here. So as of right now, these two are tied, and neither one of them is going to get that 4th influence point before this ends. So we're going to have a 3-3 tie, and we're going to see what happens together. Alright, so Danny continues with the 2 evacuators. Mon has gone with the Radiance and continues to fleet out. Alright, so they did get the metal market. Now, I did actually do some research before this started, and the way that this works is if you have a tying bid between 2 players and 2 teams, that both teams just win the auction. So neither team is locked out in the metal market at this time, so they both have it, and nobody is locked out for, I believe it's about 10 minutes that they're locked out, so nobody's locked out of the metal market. Koi started with the Rapture Battle Cruiser on Advent Reborn, and surprisingly doesn't have the derelict capture time. We did see a number of derelicts. I believe they're all tier 1 derelicts. So Koi has grabbed an Endurium, and then Davey is doing his trademark Evacuator, Desolator, and then Marauder on his capital ships. And it looks like he has also grabbed a level 1. Let's see if we have it. There's the derelict. So he did also have a derelict. I believe it was a level 1, because he should be at 1 Kalinite instead of 2, or I'm sorry, 0 Kalinite instead of 1, because the Marauder costs 2, and that would have used it up. So he was able to pick up a Kalinite. Danny looks like he has picked up a Tauronite somewhere, and I also know he's got one on this planet. This is a large one though, isn't it? It is. So it's level 2 derelict. It'll be a 2-minute grab. Plus he's got evacuators, which aren't exceedingly high on DPS. So with the multiple Javelin cruisers and the Harker cruisers, it's going to take him quite some time to clear out these fleets. But we can see that Davey is already pushing through his Primordial and already jumping into the center asteroid at the 13-minute mark. Typically, this map doesn't really see teams getting to the center until about 15 or 16 minutes. So Davey has gone exceedingly fast here, and I think Koi is also very close to getting there too. Yeah, his Rapture's on its way in the middle. I assume it's because they have seen the derelicts available on these two, on both the Sun and this Hive asteroid here. Why is it not giving me vision? There we go. So you can see the level 3 derelict here. That would be a big one for them to capture, and we'll see what else they're able to grab. Also on the Sun, there's another level 3 derelict. As you can see, there are a total of 5 exotics on this one, so they must just be prioritizing getting to those exotics, knowing that this is going to boost up the ability to produce additional capital ships or do some researches. Danny's still getting this evacuator leveled up, and it looks like did Mon get any exotics? Yeah, he did get one derelict, and it looks like he's probably also grabbed a couple of exotics here on planets, possibly going with the capital ship build over here. Davey wisely pushing up to the ocean planet. Ocean planets for the Visari, especially if you can get the ocean floor miner blueprint on it, provide a lot of income. Just in general, they're okay on the mining development and mining per population. So not great, but really what you want to get if you're looking for economy is you grab the Intercultural Exchange because you've got good population. You grab Crystal Seeking Nanites because it's a nice flat bonus, or you grab Metal Seeking Nanites because it's a nice flat bonus, which also gets boosted by Resource Sublimation. And if you can get Ocean Floor Miner down, that's a great one, and Matter Hyper Compiler in level 3. That'll also stack right on top of it and give you that much more income. But we do see similar builds here. So Mon does have his Temple of Communion out, so he's got his culture on his homeworld and starting to get that bonus to the income. Does Danny have his? Not yet. And Koi has his culture available as well. Looks like Davey also has it on his home planet, so he'll get a little bit bonus to the mining on the Ferris planet as well. So we do also see that Koi went very quickly with the rest of his fleet and not his capital ship over here to the ice asteroid, and Mon is getting vision, seeing that Davey already has this oceanic planet, and it looks like they're just going to go straight on through, so he's going to see, actually might lose this scout here, so we're going to might see first blood here in a second with these fighters. No, it looks like they're going to probably go back to the capital ships and not quite kill it. So we might see our first action here as Koi has jumped in and Mon has retreated. I don't think he wanted to fight 4 capital ships and tank all of the ships that are available right here in the derelict. As Koi is the Advent Reborn, he does have the derelict capture time, which is going to take his time down from 180 seconds to a minute. So he'll get all of the experience, all of the exotics here. And I believe power leveling, why is this not giving me? There we go. And it'll start to power level his Rapture here. That 2,000 experience is going to get him exceedingly close to level 5, if not, even after getting all of these kills here, he'll have it quite quickly. So Danny just now getting to his asteroid at about the 20-minute mark. Mon was moving quite quickly, so a little bit interested to see what Danny's got cooking in the back there. Mon has a Halcyon carrier coming out just to keep going on those capital ships. Doesn't have any of the frigates or cruisers unlocked, so he might just be going for a pure capital play, as he does have a decent number of exotics at this point and has grabbed exotics from most of his planets. Danny still just the 2 evacuators and looks to be going with a much broader frigate and cruiser play. Does have the Overseer, which in my opinion is a really, really good ship. The problem with the Overseer is that boarding crew exists, and Koi went with a Rapture, and Overseer is one of the very best ships that you can use boarding crew on, because if there's no way for a team to take it back, then you have to kill it, because intimidating presence is quite cumbersome to have to deal with when you're in a fight, especially if it's already a equal footing fight. So Davey following Koi into the center here. Is Koi going for this derelict? No, he's clearing pirates first. Yep, really just wants to kill these Corsairs. Probably going to use his domination to steal one. Come on, Koi. There, he did it. Alright, so stole a pirate. And Danny's going over to the side here. Does Mon know that they left? No. Mon doesn't know that they left. And has stationed his fleet here. Has a bunch of beam platforms coming down. So I think he was anticipating a push at this point. And he's going to be a little bit surprised, I think, when he gets vision back on this planet, that there's nothing there. He was probably, like I said, assuming that there was going to be a push occurring, but they can't quite see it. So let's see, Danny's going for 2, Davey's also going 2, so we're going to see both of these players get the 750 crystal. Yep. As you can see, they both get it for having having the exact same bid. So Danny does have his culture down on the ice world here. Would have liked to have seen it, I think, on the capital planet, just because you get such a good income from your capital planet with the 3 mining pop as base, whereas with the crystal you only have 0.7. So would really have liked to see that on the capital planet instead of on any of the tertiary planets. The one thing that Team Fleet Command is going to have to find a way to deal with is this pirate base looks to be exceedingly damaging to Danny's asteroid and Danny's oceanic planet, and he's going to need to find a way to either get enough turrets up to deal with it, or he's going to have to decide if he's going to farm them instead for that bonus experience. Looks like Mon wants to go in and do just that right now, focus firing this one pirate Corsair, but Corsairs are exceedingly durable, high armor, high durability. Disciples are going to struggle to get through it, so he really needs those capital ships and bombers to show up just to get through them quick enough. Alright, so do we have any fighting? No, not yet. Koi is sitting on a ton of exotics. I count 16 quickly there. Nope, did Koi just use one? Yep, he just used one. So he's now down to 13. So a lot of exotics. Probably just going to start spamming capital ships if I know Koi and how he likes to play. But grabbing the Guardian, one of the best things you can do for capital ship is to get Guardian support. Just increase their effective health by a substantial amount. Davey also still at his 3 capital ships and has gone for a strong defensor play and a warden play, and I really like how he's building his fleet, because against a Visari and an early game Advent, the only things that are really threatening from a Visari is capital ships with phase missiles or Canrack. And if you have all this point defense, those Canracks are just not going to do anything, and your capital ships will be relatively safe. Alright, we do have to say our first engagement of this fight. Mon just realizing he couldn't find Davey, so now Danny is starting to fight on this planet. Looks like Mon's also here, so we might have a big brawl. But it looks like, let's see, there's going to be focus fire on this level 4 evacuator. The Desolator's missiles coming out, they're doing so much damage. And we see substantial beam damage, substantial phase missile damage coming out here. And we do see 5 capital ships versus 6, but Team DDK had such a jump on this fight that it looks like they're going to get first blood on this evacuator. Look at those phase missiles, here they come, and that's so much damage. Early game, those phase missiles are just going to do so much damage. So first blood goes to Team DDK. We'll see if this fight is going to, where this fight's going to result. Alright, just going to switch off to get a reset on the ships. So there is more focus fire. Davey is moving his fleet back. Danny's going to maybe lose this evacuator as well. There's more damage coming out on it. There's phase missiles coming out. Defensors all over it. Into crippled hull. Is it going to be enough? There's phase missiles in the air. Nope, it's going to survive. So we come back to the fight. Koi continuing to add additional capital ships to his fleet. Now up to 2 Radiances and a Progenitor. Those 3 plus the Rapture are going to do so much damage. And we already saw Malice come out. I didn't see where it got cast. But there is substantial damage coming out from that Malice. Davey does have his Desolator getting low. Danny's continuing to add some turrets here. And as I said, he does have the Canracks coming out. But most of those missiles are going to get shot down by these defensors and well-placed other additional point defense. Is anything getting low? See some structures are getting shot down. We do see that there's boarding crew and plasma nova and shield battery on this Halcyon, and it looks like it is going to take some significant damage here. What is getting shot at? So Koi is trying to get focus fired on this progenitor. I gotta reset this quickly. So he does have the shield regeneration and unity skilled, but he is taking a lot of damage on it. While Monmon's losing this Halcyon, this is getting focus fired as well. You saw the big damage from Davy's Desolator come in, and that just explodes it. But Koi has two ships that are starting to get low. Do we see it getting low enough, or is he going to be okay? Looks like he's going to try to steal this derelict with this progenitor, and has already, I think, already grabbed it. Nope, that's the one out there. So yes, Koi's grabbed the exotic. Continues to build more and more capital ships here. Now he's up to 5. He does have the Revelation that has now come in both with one Reverie and one Quell. That Reverie will do a nice job of stopping any support that Monmon's fleet can put out. And it just looks like Danny's trying to get these Canrax out, but you can see that those missiles are just not getting through anywhere. His point defense is very, very much all over the top of it. And so these light frigates are not going to do very much damage at all, just because Koi and Davy don't have that many light ships for them to shoot at. See the shield burst, or sorry, the shield burst comes back for the Rapture, so the Rapture is going to be fine. Koi's progenitor is starting to get low here. We'll see if this gets focus fired and down. Nope, looks like it has been phased out. Davy's using this Marauder. Where's his Marauder? There. Davy has level 2 phase out hull, continuing to put it on the ships that are getting focus fired and making sure that they can just survive even that little bit longer. Phase out hull, probably one of the most annoying. Oh, what's going down? This Radiance is getting focus fired by Monmon. Oh, those missiles were such big damage. Wow, that just went down so quickly with the phase missile swarm coming out here from this Desolator. I thought Davy had pulled it out at the beginning of the fight. It looks like it is stuck around, and he's just going to let it continue to fire because it's not being shot at by Team Fleet Command. All these damage coming in from Team DDK, and there's another capital ship dead. So we've seen, I think, 6 or 7 capital ships be killed here. Phase out hull being placed again just to prevent Monmon's fleet from being destroyed, or I'm sorry, to prevent it from running away. There's another phase out hull. I think this one's also going to go down for Team Fleet Command. We'll see if this gets out or not. Phased out again, stops the warp. Is this going to be killed? And yes, now it has gravity warhead on. It's not going to be able to escape. So I think that was a total of either 5 or 6, if not 7 capital ships destroyed for Team Fleet Command. And I don't recall a single one from DDK being destroyed. We do see one of Koi's on the progenitor extremely low, but not dead. And so he's probably just going to find a way to heal that up, either through Davy using Nano Repair Swarm on these ships, or finding some other ship. Oh, we see a fight going on in the back line. It looks like Davy's fleet is pathing through this asteroid where it looks like Team Fleet Command is going to try to set up their last defense, as this is the final choke till they get to either of their planets. So this Skarantra looks like it was stuck going in the wrong way. It does have gravity warhead on it for another 2 seconds, but I don't think that this is going to be killed. Even with all those phase missiles from these Canrax coming in, it's just not enough damage. Does not do enough damage like the Desolator does. So Team Fleet Command going to start trying to build up some fleets here, trying to put up some turrets. We do see 10 pulse guns. I don't think pulse guns are what's going to get it done against these capital ships. And there is only a small smattering of frigates or cruisers for either Davy or Koi at this point. So maybe you can kill some disciples, but the big threat here is those capital ships, and the damage is going to have to come out to kill them. Mon does have a progenitor, a level 1 progenitor out, and we'll look real quick at Danny. Danny's got his 1 evacuator that has healed back up. Otherwise, it's a couple wardens, a little bit less than a dozen skirmishers, almost 2 dozen canrack assailants, 3 overseers, and then some additional frigates on the way. Trying to get into the tier 3, has all of the warfare research points, just waiting for, I think, the money to start teching up to possibly survive this fight. But it's going to be a tough one because I can see almost 1,000 fleet supply there for Team DDK, and we're looking at maybe 500 at best here for Team Fleet Command. Are they coming in? Yep, looks like Davy and Koi are on their way into this fight. Davy just scouting out at first with that defensor, and they get enough information. I think, yep, there they go. We're almost done with this one, so this might be the game right here if Team DDK can handle what's in place here. So we're up to 10 pulse turrets, 1 regeneration bay, which has already used a little bit of antimatter on some of the ships that are here, 38 disciples, and 13 skirmishers and a little bit of canracks versus 1,000 fleet supply. We'll see if they can hold. Did want to highlight, Koi does have the structural force fields on all of his ships, which gives his ships that much more hull, that much more time for shield bursts to come back on. And it looks like Danny is losing these canracks, losing these disciples. For now, it looks like Team DDK is ignoring most of the capital ships except for this progenitor. Now this one's getting focus fired down, and it's on its way down, and if this is going to get chased by capital ships, it's probably going to die quite quickly. There comes the damage, and progenitor is dead. Mon also trying to get this rapture out, but level 1 ships are going to die so quickly. Danny just has the single evacuator. Is he going to run it? No, he's going to try to stick around. But Mon, all that's really left on this planet here is some canracks that have come out for Danny and these disciples that are left for Mon. But these disciples are getting chased down quite hard by the disciples from Koi and the defensors from Davy. And now it looks like they're turning on this evacuator. The evacuator was hit by subspace rupture, just got the phase out, so it's going to reset the warp jump. Is it going to be enough? Nope, he gets out. But now we see a, what is this? Almost 1,400 fleet supply here for Davy and Koi. Looks like they're just going to clean up the planet, clean up all of the buildings that remain here, and yeah, these canracks did their best, but with all of the point defense that Davy has built between the wardens and the defensors, I'm not seeing a single missile from Danny get through here. They're dying before they even get away from the ship. And it looks like Koi is going to continue pushing. That was kind of the last hold, unless there's a decent hold here, and it doesn't look like there's going to be enough, so we'll see if they warp in. Koi just steals the ships as they're coming in with his rapture. Now up to 11 capital ships, if my count is right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nope, I see 9. 9 capital ships up. Davy, 4 capital ships and some supporting wardens, defensors, and they're just going to clean up the planet here. Only a couple minutes left, so I think Danny and Mon are probably going to be forfeiting this game 1 at this time. There's just too much fleet supply here, not enough damage done in the original fights, and these ships are, yep, there's the call from Danny for a GG, and that will be The first game in this series for Team DDK up 1-0 over Team Fleet Command. Round 2, hopefully coming up soon, I believe, cast by BioVore.